Hi everybody, Alex Deploy here from Expert Forex, and in this video I'm going to show you how the RSI envelope trader, what trading approach it uses. So there are 5 ways in which the EA will identify potential entries into the Forex market. Now this video doesn't cover those entries. There will be another video covering those entries in great detail. So let's take off where the EA has identified a transaction. When it identifies a transaction, it will enter the transaction and use the settings that you have provided it to manage that transaction. So let's go through the settings and how the transactions progress from the point of entry. So here on your screen you will see the initial entry taking place, and in this example we're saying that the initial stop is 50 pips and the initial target is 100 pips. So that's the initial transaction. Here's the input screen for the EA, and here you can see initial trade. Now you can set the trade size what you want, how many lots you want to trade. That's no problem, or you can trade it as a percentage of your account. And here we can see the initial stop loss was set for 50 and the take profit was set for 100. So there we are, and that's in pips. There's how we've told the EA to manage this transaction. So if we do nothing else from now on, the price is either going to hit the target or the stop, and we will get that kind of result. But we've given, in this EA, we've given top-up options. There are 3 top-up options, and let's have a look at how the top-up options work. So in this example, we're assuming that the price starts going up and reaches a point of 40% towards the target. Now in this case, the trader has instructed the EA to activate a top-up when the price reaches 40% to the target. So there's the first top-up that gets activated. It's at 40% towards the target. And what happens in that case is the trader will also tell the EA that when the first top-up activates, move the stop to 10% towards the target. So we use percentages because the targets aren't always 100 pips. They could be 72 pips or 48 pips, and the EA will then work out exact the price levels where your stop should be moved to. Now the big point in this particular case is that when you specify a stop for your top-up, the initial stop gets moved to that same level. So now the initial transaction has the same stop as the first top-up. So let's have a look at how the settings work on this one. There's the initial top-up setting. It says activate at 40% towards the target. That's what it did. You can change the lot sizing. It doesn't have to be the same as the initial one. You can increase it or decrease it. And it then says move the stop loss to 10% towards the target. And that's what's happened. So that's what would happen if you're using one top-up. Now, by the way, you can decide not to use top-ups at all, or you can only use one top-up, or you could only use 2 top-ups, or you could use 3 top-ups. We have built into this EA the ability to use 3 top-ups. So the price then moves on and reaches the next level, which is the 50% positive. So it goes 50% positive. So the trader has instructed the EA to activate a second top-up when it reaches 50% towards the target, and that's in fact what's happened here. So the same applies. The traders also told the EA to move the stop to 20% towards the target. So that stop now applies to all 3 the open transactions. So the initial stop is now 20%, first top up 20%, and the second top up is 20%. So let's have a look at the input for the second top up. So the input is 50% towards the target. Again, you can change the lot sizing if you like, and it has moved the stop to 20% towards the target, to that particular level. Very easy. So let's move on to the third top up. So the third top up has now happened as instructed. when the price reaches 60, it has activated a third top up and has moved the stop to plus 30. So if we look at the settings here, the top up at 60 was activated. Again, you can change the lot sizing, and the stop was moved to 30% towards the target, exactly as shown here. So that's how the EA works. You have flexibility in that you can specify exactly how many top-ups you want, where they should occur, and where the stops should be moved to when they occur in this particular EA. In other videos, we'll look at some of the other settings that you can use to manage this EA. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.